Manchester, England. Manchester City and Liverpool played out a thrilling 2-2 draw on Sunday in a Premier League top-of-the-table clash. The chance for one side to get a firm upper hand on the table came and went, but it offered plenty of talking points nonetheless. Here are 3 thoughts on the game. Manchester City and Liverpool played out a pulsating draw at the Etihad Stadium, and we are nevertheless no closer to understanding who will carry the Premier League title this season. City twice took the lead through Kevin De Bruyne and Gabriel Jesus, but were pegged back first by Diogo Jota and then Sadio Mane to ensure the two teams remain separated by just a point at the top of the table with 7 games to go. Pep Guardiola and Jurgen Klopp, whose teams also drew 2-2 at Anfield in October, will have to do it all over once more in the FA Cup semi-final at Wembley in 6 days' time and could yet meet in the Champions League final in Paris at the end of May. The result means both teams are still vying for their own piece of history. Man City trying to replicate Manchester United's treble in 1999 and Liverpool attempting to become the first English club to win the quadruple of Premier League, Champions League, FA Cup and Carabao Cup. Man City and Liverpool will have to be separated eventually when it comes to handing out the trophies, but for now they remain locked collectively after another fierce and interesting encounter. Klopp possibly wasn't expecting Guardiola to hand Gabriel Jesus his first Premier League start since January 1, but that's what he did, and you can't argue with the outcome. Jesus had already created a superb early chance for Raheem Sterling when he pounced on Joao Cancelo's cross from the left to put City 2-1 up just before halftime with his first league goal since September. Despite being the only acknowledged striker in the City squad, Guardiola has had success playing him on the proper wing in the past. It was in that role that he played a key position in the 2-1 win over Real Madrid in the Bernabeu in the 2019-20 Champions League knockout rounds, and he had 2 assists in the 5-0 win over Norwich at the Etihad Stadium in August, when he was the best player on the pitch. The result means both teams are still vying for their own piece of history. Man City trying to replicate Manchester United's treble in 1999 and Liverpool attempting to become the first English club to win the quadruple of Premier League, Champions League, FA Cup and Carabao Cup. Man City and Liverpool will have to be separated eventually when it comes to handing out the trophies, but for now they remain locked collectively after another fierce and interesting encounter. Klopp possibly wasn't expecting Guardiola to hand Gabriel Jesus his first Premier League start since January 1, but that's what he did, and you can't argue with the outcome. Jesus had already created a superb early chance for Raheem Sterling when he pounced on Joao Cancelo's cross from the left to put City 2-1 up just before halftime with his first league goal since September. Despite being the only acknowledged striker in the City squad, Guardiola has had success playing him on the proper wing in the past. It was in that role that he played a key position in the 2-1 win over Real Madrid in the Bernabeu in the 2019-20 Champions League knockout rounds, and he had 2 assists in the 5-0 win over Norwich at the Etihad Stadium in August, when he was the best player on the pitch. The Brazilian has only scored 7 goals all season, but the majority have been large ones. He scored in opposition to Arsenal in August and the only goal in the 1-0 win over Chelsea at Stamford Bridge in September. In November, he came off the bench to score the winner against Paris Saint-Germain at the Etihad Stadium, and he can now add Liverpool to his list. There is no doubting what Mohamed Salah gives to Liverpool, but they are far from a one-man team. If Salah doesn't sign a new deal at Anfield and leaves as a free agent in the summer season of 2023, Jurgen Klopp's aspects are greater than capable of soaking up his absence, and his performance at the Etihad on Sunday is proof. Salah was on the edges of the action for lots of the game, while others in the front three, Jota and Mane, received the goals. Liverpool have recruited well, to bring in Jota and Luis Diaz to ensure there isn't always an over-reliance on Salah, and it means, should the Egypt international depart, they are ready-made replacements to fill the void. It would be a blow to lose a player who is again on course to score 30 goals in all competitions again this season, but it is not the nightmare scenario some are predicting. Yes, he's important, he showed his type with the pass for Main's goal, but he's only scored once since the end of February and Liverpool still stay in the hunt for 4 trophies. The good news for Liverpool and the board is that Salah is not in a position to make out of this world demands over his contract. Liverpool, England. Manchester United have had some chastening days at Goodison Park since Sir Alex Ferguson retired in 2013, and now there's another to add to the list. Ralph Rangnick's team have been beaten 1-0 by Everton, to follow on from a 2-0 defeat under David Moyes in 2014, a 3-0 defeat under Louis van Gaal in 2015, and a 4-0 thumping under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in 2019. Each one of those outcomes should have been a low point never to be repeated, but the fact that it is still taking place nearly a decade since Ferguson left shows how huge a job it is for the subsequent manager to turn the club around. Ajax manager and presumed Old Trafford coach-elect Erik ten Hag might prefer to add another 0 onto his asking price, particularly if there's an April trip to Everton on next season's fixture list. In the short term, Anthony Gordon's deflected first-half goal ability United have given themselves an even bigger mountain to climb if they desire to play Champions League football next season. It says the whole lot about the state of Rangnick's team that even after Arsenal slipped up at Crystal Palace in midweek, they could not carry themselves enough to beat an Everton side who had lost 17 of their previous 22 league games and commenced the day just a point above the relegation places. United nevertheless have 7 games left, but playing like this, they do not belong in Europe's top club competition. The players need to be eager to play Champions League football, but as long as we play like today they don't deserve it, Rangnick said afterwards. If you do not rating in 95 minutes against a team who conceded 3 goals against Burnley, it is difficult to explain. For us as a coaching staff it is tough to understand why we didn't create more chances. Everton, fresh off the back of a 3-2 defeat at Burnley in midweek, were there for the taking. United started poorly, but Everton were so bad that Marcus Rashford still managed to force Jordan Pickford into 2 good saves. The second came from a header after 12 minutes, but between then and a long-distance shot from Paul Pogba 9 minutes from time, United created nothing. Cristiano Ronaldo's frustration boiled over towards the end, with him smashing the ball into the benches in protest at Everton's time wasting, but most of the damage was self-inflicted. A nervous Everton crowd were beginning to turn when Gordon's shot flicked off Harry Maguire and past David De Gea in the 27th minute, and from then on, the home supporters wildly celebrated every pass and tackle. We had our moments and could have scored in the first 25 minutes, but I would have wished us to be more penetrating, Rangnick added. You could actually feel they were crumbling after that result against Burnley and we didn't take advantage, and their first shot on goal, a deflected shot, changed the game and modified the atmosphere. Second half they just defended, and we were not able to break down that wall. It shows the muddled thinking at United that when Rangnick needed a replacement to change the game in the second half, he turned to Juan Mata, without a single look in the Premier League this season up till that point. Ronaldo had one final shot in stoppage time that Pickford did well to save, but an equalizer would have served only to mask another appalling United performance. Alex Telles was poor, Bruno Fernandes gave the ball away again and again, and Ronaldo was almost anonymous, but the list of players who underperformed went beyond those 3. Everton's goal was the 42nd they have conceded in the league this season, the worst document of any of the top 8, and the same number as Burnley in 18th. It was ironic that, on Wednesday, Sean Dyche said he told his Burnley players that Everton didn't look like a team who knew how to win a game, and Frank Lampard could have easily aimed the same accusation at United, even though he chose not to. You can't talk about a team with Ronaldo and Fernandes and Jadon Sancho and Rashford and say they don't know how to win a game, because they do, Lampard said. They are perhaps not in their best moment at the moment. Today we dug in and got the result we needed. If Ten Hag takes on the United job, he will need new players in the summer, but the problems do not begin and end with the squad. Of the dark days at Everton under Moyes, Van Gaal, Solskjaer and now Rangnick, only De Gea has started each time, suggesting the players are only part of the problem. Rangnick says he has already instructed the board what needs to change in the summer, but United's fans heard the same after each of those desperate results in this part of Liverpool. Only time will tell whether Ten Hag is the man to end the rot or just next in line to get stuck with the Toffees. Kindly subscribe, like, share, comment and press on the notification bell for latest news out.